Hello everybody and welcome back to Lansing Common Football Club as the Robins set to take on East Division foes ThunderCats SC right here at Eastern Stadium. Welcome inside everybody. Cameron McLaren joined alongside Joshua Pugh. Joshua, it's been a week since Lansing Common has been at the friendly confines of Eastern Stadium last week, beating AIM SC 4-2. They welcome in a ThunderCats SC club that leaves a lot to the naked eye as their record doesn't really respect the way that this team has been playing.
Yeah, that's right, Cam. That is absolutely right. Not a lot to look at on paper, but don't underestimate the side from ThunderCats. This is a quality side. They have forfeited 2 matches in the Midwest Premier League in their first year of competition, as they had paperwork issues in both of those matches, and so certainly better and more quality than their record would suggest. They are also, Cam, a club team, so a lot of these guys have been playing together for a long time, maybe starting very young. They've got, much like Michigan Jaguars, a lot of quality throughout the club at every level. And the Midwest Premier League side is no exception.
And as we take a look at this ThunderCats SC side, Aki Lapaka, Steven Costo, Alex Rosen, Greg Janicki, Ryan Vandewinkle, Colin Arce, Keithan Punyamorthy, Ben Golding, Timmy Allos, Diego Arce, and Jarrett Gill as well. That'll round out the starting 11 for Coach Steve Arce's side. As Lansing Common, you get a look at their roster here. Just a moment as the PA announcer, our good friend Ian Monty, sending out the starting 11. It'll be Holden Clark, who once again makes another start in net for the Robins. The back 3 of Aiden Antcliffe, Kevin Payne, and Landon Hungerford unchanged from that win over AIM SC. Ben Derby, Mark Wishmeyer in the midfield alongside Jack Voigt, Munir Shirali, Jack Beck, and Amir Shatia. And the lone man up front, Seth Russ, will make another start as he is in a torrid pace, leading the Midwest Premier League Great Lakes West Division goal-scoring race.
That's right, Cam. Seth has been just on a tear this year. Starting only 3 matches, only I think 151 minutes on the year for him. Playing out of position too. He's not a 9. Seth is a midfielder winger in college at Stetson University down in Florida, and has been getting minutes at the 9 with Brandon Dixon unavailable for the last couple weeks. Actually, Brandon Dixon got a flat tire on the way out to Kentwood for the BIH match, so I initially thought he was going to be late, then couldn't make it. No problem, as Seth Russ knocked in a hat trick that night, and has been just pacing these Robins as we see the game ball delivered by drone at Eastern Stadium, a sight that our home fans are used to, but might be new to some of the folks watching via stream here tonight. We've got what is sure to be a lot of fireworks of the figurative kind here from Eastern Stadium tonight. This year, in addition to Seth Russ, but paced by Seth Russ, the Robins have been averaging about 3 goals a match, up from their usual 2 across club history, and have been really good defensively as well. Over the last 5 matches, Cam, 17-3, they've outscored their opponents, going 5-0-0, mostly on the road over the last 5 games in Midwest Premier League play.
And as you take a look, Seth Russ's statistics, 7 goals, no assists. He's now tied for second in both single season and all-time goals scored for the Robins. He played for Lansing Common, had 7 appearances in the maiden voyage in 2021, did not have any goals that counted in competitive scoring. He did score a goal against Kalamazoo FC in a friendly that happened halfway through the season. And as you said, the Robins looking to continue that top half pace that sees them in second place, 7 games played, 5-1-1, 16 points through 7 matches, a monumental goal difference with a +14 after the +2 over AIM SC. The Robins have been outscoring a lot of their opponents, as you said. It's been pretty much all goal scoring for Lansing Common, not a lot for their opposition.
That's right, and for those who want to read a little bit more about Seth Russ, urge you to check out the Lansing State Journal this week. Graham Couch did a great feature on him. Cam talked a little bit about that first season he had in 2021, and Seth was honest with the columnist, Mr. Couch, in saying that he may have had a little bit of a bad attitude, and that probably contributed to him not getting the kind of minutes that he would have liked last year. He went down the road to Inter Detroit, where he didn't play much either. Actually got minutes in the now infamous final game of the season for Inter Detroit here at Eastern Stadium. But coming back to Lansing this year, just really, again, unexpected for Seth and for everybody to see him getting minutes at the 9, and certainly unexpected to see the kind of production that he's been able to generate for Lansing Common this year, and in pacing the team, pacing the league, as Cam said. But this is in that article as well. Brent Sorg said what we're going to see now down the stretch of this season with 4 games to go in the regular season is a lot of these clubs are going to try and put the clamps on Seth Russ. And we know, Cam, there's a lot of quality and a lot of firepower on this Lansing Common side in the midfield, on the wings. And we might just see other opportunities open up for other players.
And as both teams ready to line up the Robins in their familiar home reds, the visitors from Chesterfield in the road whites, just moments away from the second game of a season-long 6-game homestand here for the Robins as they conclude the month of June, and we are underway from Eastern Stadium.
Housekeeping notes here as we get started. Apologies to those of you who were expecting a 7 o'clock start. We did note that ThunderCats SC have forfeited a couple matches because of paperwork issues. We thought maybe there was going to be some of that tonight as we were left waiting for some of those mandatory forms, and never fear, they did show up. As you see, La India Cochina taco truck also showing up a little bit late behind the supporters section grandstand. It's just that kind of night here in Lansing as the air quality has lightened up for us. It's looking like it's going to be a beautiful night for some soccer.
A not so crisp 86 degrees here. Clouds rolling in have actually calmed the temperatures here. What was supposed to be a 91-degree day, as turf temperature sitting just over 90 degrees. And as you said, the air quality index has played a factor for a majority of teams in the Midwest Premier League, since that heat pocket resting over the state of Texas has caused that Canadian wildfire smoke to just rest up in the upper Midwest. And we'll see how all the teams throughout the weekend in the Midwest Premier League handle those conditions. Already one game canceled. The match tomorrow between Cedars FC and West Michigan Bearings already postponed due to poor air quality conditions.
Would it be a Cam McLaren call if we didn't get a reference to the state of Texas? I posit that it would not, folks.
The Lone Star State always making an appearance here on the Lansing Common broadcasts.
Lansing on the front foot as usual in these league matches. Thundercats roll out a 4-1-4-1 with kind of what I would call a little bit of a medium press defensively.
And Thundercats has been sneaky good. They've technically gone undefeated, barring those paperwork issues that saw them forfeit a match earlier this season. Sitting at 2-3-1, 9 points for them in the East Division. They currently sit in 5th place off 6 games played, as Inter Detroit, one of those teams that's looking to repeat as champions, currently leading the Great Lakes East Division with an undefeated 5-2 record.
Mirshidia with a nice defensive recovery. Doesn't take the touch he wants, goes out of bounds for a Thundercats throw.
Played back in for Janicki.
Greg Janicki, Cam, 38 years old, all kinds of experience, including in the MLS for Vancouver Whitecaps, for DC United. Spent some time at Indy 11 in the USL Championship, although I don't think the USL Championship existed then. Came out of retirement to play for Detroit City FC, made one appearance as Thundercats in with a little bit of danger in front of the net that does not make it on frame.
It was Diego Arce who had the game's opening chance. Just 4 minutes into this one as he got around Kevin Payne, the in-service along that far side. Clark saw it out for a goal kick, which he resumes play immediately.
A couple RC boys on this team, one a late substitution right before kickoff. Steve RC, the coach of ThunderCats SC, also runs Varder, a club operation that at least Kevin Payne on the Robins roster has experience playing in that system.
Kevin Payne, one of the 2 Niagara University players on this squad. He's welcoming another familiar face next season as Gio Cavelli, the forward from Inter Detroit, will settle up into upstate New York.
What a fantastic line-breaking pass from Landon Hungerford to find Seth Russ. Getting a little extra attention from Greg Janicki, that 38-year-old center back holding down the back for ThunderCats SC.
Janicki immediately under pressure by Beck. Quick turn by Colin RC. Now Ben Derby, played forward. Beck, pass too far in front of him.
Ball to Jack Beck, just couldn't come down with it.
As it'll roll in onto Lapaka. He'll play it along the far wing to Costa. Once again to Janicki, who's going to make himself busy with a very young front 5 for Lansing. A lot of youth in this Lansing Common squad, especially the starting 5 forwards on the pitch, and Russ, Shirali, Voigt, Beck, and Shatia. And Cliff, instead, broken over to the far side. Payne will deal with the ensuing pass. Sent forward once again by Arce. And out for a Lansing throw. Both teams still just looking to get their footing in this match. Looking not to expend a lot of energy in the game's opening quarter of an hour. Golding.
And we will we will not see any special attention, any special breaks for air quality, as the U.S. soccer regulations dictate that if the AQI is north of 150, it will take breaks every 15 minutes. Because the air cleared up a little bit here in Lansing, we were at around 87 at kickoff. Shouldn't have any issues there. Remains to be seen whether the referees will enforce water breaks late in the halves because of the heat.
Played along the near side. Sent forward for Golding. Shadowed by Hungerford.
Lando Hungerford sporting a new mustache this week. I guess we'll have to wait and see if his play improves because of that. As Janicki gives a little extra shove to Seth Russ, who he's got a few inches and a few pounds on.
Played in the middle of the park. ThunderCats searching for that long ball as Lansing Common looking to press in the opposing half, instead given to Rosen. Back to Colin Arce.
ThunderCats pushing really far up the pitch.
Lovely weighted ball into the near side. Van de Winkel on through, blocked immediately by Payne. Back out, outside the 18, played in, and out for a goal kick.
Lansing had trainings this week around 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday here at Eastern Stadium. Similar conditions, maybe a little bit worse for the air quality and the temperature on Tuesday and Thursday, and they ran out 11v11 both nights against the scout squad in the 4-1-4-1. So it's a little bit of a strange formation, but not one that's brand new to the starters here tonight.
Shirali almost dispossessed in the middle of the field as Arce tried to pick his pocket. Instead, it'll find its way back to Landon Hungerford. Played up for Beck. Now Shatia.
Another nice line-breaking pass from Lando. He's got a couple of those tonight.
Back to Kevin Payne. Now over to Aiden Antcliffe along the far wing. Lansing Common just looking for a long spout of possession.
Some of the most quality on this team is concentrated along the back with Mark Wishmeyer, Ben Derby. You got Kevin Payne back there, Lando Hungerford. And so a lot of times those guys are real comfortable possessing the ball, but you know Brent Sorg's not happy with that. Looking for the lines to be broken, looking for the guys to press up and create danger and be a little bit more courageous on the front foot as we break through into the 10th minute here.
Misplaced pass will go off of Janicki. It'll be a Lansing Common throw-in. Played through the middle of the park, Derby.
Excellent diagonal ball from Lando to set up Derby there.
Now to Shatia. And back for Hungerford. Now Wishmeyer. Forced to play it back as Arce is in, looking to make himself a nuisance. Now Antcliffe, well out of position.
We told you this side was quality from ThunderCats, but one of the things that surprised me early is they've matched up really, really nicely with Lansing defensively. They're fitting these patterns really well. They're cutting off passes. They're just really well organized, Cam. Not something you see a lot in the Midwest Premier League.
Antcliffe, now back to Kevin Payne. This back three for Lansing Common, playing every match so far. Heavy touch there from Hungerford. Referee says play on after he was clattered into. Played forward looking for Russ. He's clipped in the process. It's the first foul given against either team as Ryan Vandewinkle took down the Stetson forward.
Another thing that we're likely to see in these matches with Seth Russ pacing the league and scoring is a little extra attention from the referees as Russ earns a call that he may not have gotten 2 weeks ago. But look to see some added sauce from Munir and Mark Wishmeyer here as the boys installed some new set pieces in practice this week.
The in-swinger from Shirali. Payne looking at the back post. Costo there first. Now Rosen. Played forward along the near side. Here comes ThunderCats with numbers.
Mooney doing a great job tracking back, playing back into an unfamiliar left back position. And the danger extinguished by Aiden Antcliffe as Kevin Payne still tracking back.
Kevin Payne in, looking for the header. Would have been his second header goal of the season. Instead it goes out for a ThunderCats throw. Played in. Vandewinkle sliced it in on goal. Easy for Clark.
That was quite the audacious attempt. Got it on target though. Might be ThunderCats' first shot on target of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Need Jordan Stoddard up here in the booth to track that for us.
That's the way it looks. Played forward looking for Russ. Janicki will let it go. Back into Lepatka. As both teams still searching for a decisive chance. This through ball's hard to come by. Janicki. Looking for Diego Arce. Back into the mix by Punia Marthi. Vandewinkle off of Shatia. It'll be another throw-in for ThunderCats. Marthy. Now over to Colin Arce. Had a runner going forward. Rosen didn't get the pass. He's well out of position in a forward area. Along the far side, Tommy Alos played it in. Payne able to execute the clear. Antcliffe, surrounded by 3 ThunderCats defenders, will play it out. So once again, ThunderCats with possession. Played forward by Janicki. Only as far as Antcliffe. Derby couldn't get it out. Now Shirali.
ThunderCats coach calling for a handball from about 70 yards away from the action.
Derby. Now to Shirali at the center half line.
Got to be honest, Cam, Munir Shirali playing the ball makes me feel feelings too, just not quite that aggressively. As ThunderCats continue to body up Seth Russ. No call that time.
And as you talk about Munir Shirali, the Hazlitt High School native, just graduated from Eastern Illinois, the now home of former Lansing Common head coach Josh Oakley, who will partake in his 2nd season at the helm.
Josh Oakley today, Cam, over there in the supporters section. If you, I don't see him on my monitor. I can't see quite that well, but folks watching at home on the big screen might be able to make out a familiar face across the park. As we cross the 15-minute mark, again, reminder, no special precautions today as the air quality cleared up here in Lansing. Still not sure, though, if the refs might enforce some water breaks because the heat, about 86 degrees. Very humid here in Lansing today.
As the clouds rolling in, able to calm the temperatures as it's played in along the far side. Alos inside the 18, still Tommy Alos. Now to Golding, fires that one well wide of the target. Won't trouble Clark. As possibly the best chance for ThunderCats in the opening quarter of an hour has gone awry.
Feeling very similar to a previous commentator for Lansing Common road game against United West, except maybe in reverse, Cam. That day, it was Lansing Common on the front foot, looking dangerous, could not finish. Today, ThunderCats in that position as they just have been able to get the ball into dangerous positions a few times, but not really able to generate a lot of true danger once it's time to get the ball on frame.
As Alos will usher it out for a free kick. And played up for Golding. Back to Alos and returned to Alex Rosen. Lovely ball from Rosen up to Alos. Looking for Arce. Cleared out by Payne.
Kevin Payne appears to have about 6 inches on young Arce, number 14 there for ThunderCats. That's going to continue to give them problems as I've seen very few center backs at this level play as disciplined as KP.
It's Kevin Payne, who has made 19 starts in 2 seasons with Lansing Common. His first goal for the club against BIH just a few weeks ago. Now Alos along the far side. Antcliffe did just enough to usher it out of his reach. He'll play it up the pitch and out for another throw-in for ThunderCats. As even though Lansing has calmed the pressure here in the opening quarter of an hour, it's the visitors from Chesterfield who have looked the more dangerous.
Yeah, that's right, Cam. They in that 4-1-4-1, they play really fluid. Most of the defending that they've been doing has been out of the midfield in the forwards position. The back line for ThunderCats moves around a lot, exchanges positions a lot, plays really selflessly. Remains to be seen if one of those shifts, swaps, ends up getting a guy out of position, Lansing able to capitalize. Not yet thus far.
Played in by Voigt, intercepted by ThunderCats, and once again given up to Shirali along the far wing. Forced to play in the negative back to Antcliffe as Common will look for a short spell of possession. As with that 4-1 and with the way that Lansing Common plays, as this one for Shatia will go out for another throw-in. Lots of people in the midfield for both teams.
And that was, got to give credit to Ben Derby there for fighting out of danger and then having a really nice idea. Just couldn't connect with Amir, but just about created something for Lansing there.
Shachia just half a second too late. Now here comes ThunderCats with it. Diego Arce. Now to Alos. Looking for the byline for Gill. That one rolls out once again for a goal kick.
Holden Clark once again between the sticks for Lansing Common. And for one of the first times, maybe the first time this year, being backed up by Will Berry, a young, very tall prospect who's in the MLS Next pyramid and also still in high school.
As Clark with an errant pass, thought he had Shatia, just overplayed it. ThunderCats now with a throw-in in the final third of Lansing. It'll be Vandelwinkle. Tried the 1-2. Hungerford read it clearly.
There's that mustache cam. What did I tell you?
Turned over to Vandelwinkle. Played in. Antcliffe there to win the initial ball. Alos there with the second. It's Voigt. Came back in support, able to clear it up the pitch, only as far as Costo at the halfway line. Played back in, looking for Arce. That one
was a really nice ball that he just could not bring down. Right at the top of the 18. Certainly could have turned that into something, but just couldn't control it.
Now Wishmeyer along the far side for Voigt.
Oh my goodness, dangerous high kick, and the referee does whistle it, and the visitors from ThunderCats acting go the other way. Cam says that went the other way. The refs say that went the other way.
It looks as though that it was going to be Voigt who was going to pick up the foul, as the high boot was from Voigt. He instead got clattered into by Rosen, as that's what the ThunderCats bench is displeased about, is Steve Arce with a number of his relatives on the pitch.
Well, look, we've gotten a little bit of home cooking from the refs the last two games counting tonight. I am never going to complain about that.
Played for Wishmeyer. Lowly in. Derby on the back post, ushered it on net. Lepaka was there. The first shot on goal for Lansing results in a clear save for Lepaka.
Derby unable to give that the kind of power that he gave his last two goals for Lansing Common. But really nice work by him to get into position on the free kick there. As Lansing goes short on the free kick, goes quick, and then still able to play in a beautiful ball to the back post. Again, create some danger, getting a ball on frame.
As Derby scored his first goal for the club against United West, has scored 2 goals from outside the 18, just couldn't get the weak foot to go. Now along the far side, Arce played in forward. That one ushered out by Payne. It'll result in another goal kick for the Robins. As it looks as though the 3 of Tommy Alos, Colin Arce, and Diego Arce looking to make themselves a nuisance along that left-hand side of the pitch. Looking to pick on Aiden Antcliffe, the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodon, who's made his 7th start for the Robins this season. With just 2 appearances last season. He's become a starter for Brent Sorg's squad here. It's Hungerford.
Oh my goodness. Lando doing so well to win that ball, making it look like he was going for the shield. Got the ThunderCats attacker out of position and then just controlled it, turned it around, erases the threat.
As Janicki dispossesses Russ, he'll win a throw-in off of Shatia, as Golding was in on that last effort, the midfielder from Cornell. Native of Sterling Heights, Michigan. That's why he's playing for ThunderCats. He's here over the summer.
A lot of Division I talent on this roster, Cam. Surprised me, even though, as we've said, this is a more talented squad than the table would suggest. But quite a few guys who face steep competition at the college level.
Cornell not mostly known for its soccer, mostly for its veterinary school programs in the middle half of upstate New York. Now Lansing on the front foot. Beck in the middle of the pitch. Around Puna Miyarthi. Played back for Shirali. As ThunderCats was able to get multiple numbers behind the ball. Lansing once again forced to play it back into their own half. Antcliffe looking for Russ. The more experienced Janicki will head it to a vacant area for Costo. Along the line for Rosen. Now played in the middle of the park. Arce. 3-on-3 now for ThunderCats. Along the near wing to Jarrett Gill. In swinger, that goes off of Hungerford. It results in a corner kick, the first one of the game for ThunderCats. As we've hit the 25th minute here on a hot day in Lansing. The first dangerous set piece for the visitors. As Lansing Common in recent weeks has been very good on set piece defending. Gave up one last week against AIM-SC in the second half.
Across club history, I would say, Cam, it's always been a focus.
Gill does not beat the first man. It's ushered back out to midfield. Russ tried to dispossess Vanderwinkle. Instead, it's played over to that far side for Colin Arce. He lets it run through his boot. It'll result in a throw-in for the Robins. As once again, ThunderCats looking dangerous, just have not been clinical in their chances. Team in ThunderCats that finds themselves, as we said earlier, 5th place in a very top-loaded Great Lakes East Division, as Beck will win a free kick at the middle of the park.
Wins a free kick that could have and should have been played advantage, as the Robins were pressing forward and seemed to be on their front foot. The ref decided to intercede.
Wishmeyer tried to play for Derby. He was lackadaisical on his touch. Instead, it's intercepted now for ThunderCats. Turned over to Russ. Russ trying to work through two defenders. The more experienced Janicki dispossessed him. Russ not happy about it. A little shove at the end of the play as ThunderCats will continue play. Along the near side, Jarrett Gill. A lovely pass there from Golding as it runs through onto Clark.
Seth Russ just a little timid there in attack. Trying to, it seemed like he couldn't really decide if he wanted to go around the guy or go through him. And as a defender, especially one as experienced as Greg Janicki, you love to see that. Nothing better as a defender than an attacker that can't make up his mind.
This is Greg Janicki, as you said, a long senior career. We're going to whistle for some medical attention as
viewers of the stream got a close-up look at the blood on the elbow there.
Golding will sit for a second.
I believe, as we're a little short-handed on the intern front tonight, club president Eric Walcott manning the camera up top.
Janicki will dispossess Russ once again. Janicki with 13 goals in his professional career. Scored 4 goals with Indy 11 in 2015 through 16 with 43 appearances in 2 seasons.
And as we talk about the Division I experience on this roster, one more in Greg Janicki, Michigan State Spartan, on the pretty short list of MSU alum who went on to have distinguished professional careers, including Dewan Jones, a name that'll be very familiar to Lansing soccer fans. It's ThunderCats back on the front foot.
Vanderwinkle just outside the 18. Lined up for Arce. Played in along the far post. Alos able to keep it in. Antcliffe nudged it out as the linesman along the near side said the ball went out of play. Once again, another goal kick for
La India Mexicana Casino is now open
Clark.
Just outside the ticket booth.
So we'll get a substitution here for ThunderCats, an early one.
The 29th minute, already going to his bench, Arce.
Looks as though Steve Arce does not like what's going on up top. He'll make a substitution at striker. So it looks like number 26, Assad Boussaguir, will go in place of, I believe, Jarrett Gill.
And Cam, that was a late switch going the opposite direction just before kickoff. So you kind of wonder if Boussaguir was just running a little late, maybe it got a flat tire on the way here from Macomb County, or what happened there, because some indecision from the ThunderCats coach as he makes the late sub right before kickoff, and then 30 minutes later makes it right back. As Seth Russ does well to dance out of trouble there.
Away from Arce. He's got numbers along the near side. It's Shatia. Trying to work around Janicki. Played through for Russ. Russ tried to go back post for Voigt. Instead, it rolls out 25 yards away from the face of goal as Golding, who's just recently released from the pitch side medical tent.
We were talking about the back line for ThunderCats as Mark Wischmeyer goes for it all from 40 plus. We're talking about the back line of ThunderCats potentially getting a little disorganized in the switching off. You saw it right there. The two defenders just seemed to forget about Seth Russ as they both went for Amir Shataya, opening up a huge opportunity that Seth is going to be very comfortable with playing out of the wing like that, his normal position.
As Van de Winkel and Janicki were the culprits on that half chance for the Robin. Janicki. Misplaced pass intercepted by Wischmeyer. Here comes Shataya. Van de Winkel did just enough to nudge him off the ball. It'll return to Wischmeyer. As Robbins once again looking to break lines. Switched over for Antcliffe. The Okemos native. In his second season as a Robin. Played up, almost intercepted by Golding. Wischmeyer, the no-look pass to Shirale, and on Lepaka, who was there.
Was Ben Derby going for his third goal of the season with another rocket off his boot.
As Ben Derby showing signs of first season Julian Burge with that shot. Intercepted Beck. Now to Seth Russ. Russ, and a goal, tripped up in the process. Lepaka will see it out for a goal kick as Russ, in disbelief, thought he was taken from behind.
Looked to come right through it there. That was something.
As this back line, this back four of ThunderCats, who has been doing so well in the first half hour, has given up two grade A opportunities to the Robins here in the previous 5 minutes.
Glad Seth seems to be okay. He kind of fell awkwardly with looked like an arm in the middle of his back. I would not be moving around like that after a fall like that.
Be held up by Alos along the near side, able to get past Wischmeyer. Now played for Ben Golding. Voigt try to steer it clear of danger. Instead, Golding able to recollect in the final third. Back out,
danger there,
looking for Alos. Payne able to steer it back out once again. The tall defender from Niagara.
Kevin Payne, probably the MVP for Lansing tonight. And it's shaping up as a little bit of an uncomfortable matchup for Lansing's back line.
As Lansing, 4-1-4-1, a formation they are not used to seeing, I should say.
Certainly not one I've seen a lot of at this level, or at any level.
Along the far side, it was Rosen who tried to play it in, instead to flex off of Voigt, back out for a throw-in. Played quickly for Punia Marthi. Back to Greg Janicki. Trying to commit some Spartan-on-Spartan crime as he gets away from Jack Beck. Van de Winkel couldn't get past Shatia. It's a throw-in for ThunderCats. Played quickly. Alos makes his way into the 18. Hungerford did just enough to see it out for another throw. As ThunderCats building on the pressure as we approach the final quarter of an hour in the first half. Vandewinkle played in for Payne. Ushered back out Janicki. Now Golding. Kevin Payne once again able to deflect it over to the far side. Steered back in for Arce. As Antcliffe holding off Diego Arce. It once again results in a goal kick as Lansing averts the danger. And finally that second ball along the touchline cleared off the pitch by Hungerford. It's Holden Clark, the now goalkeeper at UIndy. It's a perfect record so far with the Robins in competitive play. Let in 2 goals on 6 shots against AMSC in that second half. A foul committed by Russ in the opposing half. It results in a free kick for ThunderCats. Janicki will start things up again to Costa.
Forced to play square out of the free kick as he's Jack Beck's giving him everything he can handle.
Beck, the more youthful Spartan, tried to dispossess Janicki. He'll play it forward. Antcliffe did just enough to get there in front of Diego Arce. Beck tried to play it through the legs. Instead, Marthy intercepted. Now up to Golding. Along the near side for Alos. Unable to keep it in. He'll let it roll out for a throw. The Robins will play it quickly as Alos makes his way back into the play. Russ.
Both teams, oh goodness, another push from Janicki. Both teams have been just not as crisp as you would expect, and I'm sure not as crisp as they would like to see on
Alos
sides.
played back post. Antcliffe there for the Robins, ushered off the boot of Derby over to the far side. As once again, the back 3 of Lansing keeping Colin Arce at bay so far. Janicki using his experience to captain the attack for ThunderCats. With a plethora, as you said, Josh, of Division I talent. Costa looking for Diego Arce, intercepted by Antcliffe. Once again, the Robins return possession back to ThunderCats. Costo! Took a deflection off of Wishmeyer. Another corner coming to the visitors as that one from Stephen Costo just past the near post.
Holden Clark fortunate there as he was beaten.
Clark just inside of his 6-yard box would not have gotten there as the deflection from Wishmeyer able to save what would have been a highlight reel goal for the visitors.
Indeed.
Instead, Colin Arce now. Arce, the outswinger. Hungerford there first. Now Russ, as Robins will look to play it out of their own half. Hungerford waiting for the run of Russ. He's got him along the near side. Russ around Costo. Still Seth Rush trying to turn the corner. Costo had the angle. This pressure still on for Lansing. It'll go up to Alos. Now for Golding. Now the first touch for Busagir. Along the near wing, Shatia trying to get there. Busagir back to Alos. Let through for Colin Arce. Now to Golding. Fires. That one hit Wishmeyer. There's another chance for ThunderCats. Unable to get it through onto the net of Holden Clark. As this counterattack for ThunderCats has looked lively. As they say in the business, all Swedish, no finish as of yet. Now played forward for the first half substitute in Busagir.
This time Kevin Payne goes over there to clean it up himself.
Working on
Busagir again crossing it in.
Arce. Back to Ben Golding. Now to Tommy Alos, who has switched to the near side. Still Tommy Alos. Now Colin Arce. Back out to Punami Arthi. Looking the far post for Alos. He'll get there just outside the 18. Alos, the in-swinger. Nobody there in a white jersey as once again the Robins avert danger.
I'm getting the sense, Cam, that ThunderCats dealing with a similar issue on their roster as Lansing Common, which is an embarrassment of riches in the midfield. That's although you might not think so as you look at their bench with only 5 bodies on it. They seem to be leaning in on the 4-1-4-1 as a way to create more danger with some of those attackers playing in the midfield, playing as wingers. But that has created for them some overloads in the box, even when the striker gets pulled wide. And so a lot of versatility on both these rosters that's resulted in some great chances for both sides, not always from the striker position.
It's Lansing. Shatia tried to bring it forward. It'll be whistled for a foul as advantage was played. Realized that there was nothing that would develop out of it. The referee correctly blowing the whistle. So Robins resume play just inside the opposing half. It'll be immediately played back to Kevin Payne. Now to Wishmeyer, looking for numbers. Now for Jack Voigt. The prolific goal scorer last season for the Robins, who had 6 on his account in his first season. Dinked forward for Wishmeyer. Off the foot of Shatia, poked through, saved by Lepeka. Another chance, that one awry as it's shoved out by Janicki. As Amir Shatia looked to get his second goal as a Robin. Instead, it results in a corner kick.
Seth Russ pleading with the ref to call a foul in the box there. Nothing doing. Goodness.
Shatia, another Indiana University or an IUPU Fort Wayne player, a Mastodon there. Scored his first club goal against United West in that 5-0 win in Hudsonville. Played by Hungerford. Janicki there first, except it's Wishmeyer up outside the 18. Voigt unable to get there. It'll be Punia Marthi, excuse me, to play it out. Looking for Golding along the far side. Instead, it results in another Lansing Common throw.
Aiden looking to be dangerous, vertical, push the ball. Is, I think probably a little frustration starting to set in for the Robins that they have not been able to push one across yet.
Shirali looking for options. Played for Wishmeyer. Dispossessed there by Busagir. Here comes ThunderCats now the other way. Alos trying to work through Hungerford. He'll take the near side. Alos! Just shy of the far post.
That is something that does not happen very often, as the 2-footed Landon Hungerford gets kind of worked there, creating just enough room for a dangerous shot there that, had it found that back post, would have been in the back of the net.
Alos, who started on that far side working against Antcliffe. Alos, who now enrolled at Detroit Mercy. A Titan alongside former Lansing Common Robin and Gershom Sylvan. Native of Royal Oak. Is now Shirali. Along the far side for Antcliffe. Played through. Janicki was there first. He'll set it off the left foot. Out for another throw-in for Lansing. Antcliffe in for Rush, trying to work around Costo, played in. Shirali inside the 6. Back over to Russ, played out by Costo. It results in another throw-in for Lansing as the trio of Voigt, Shirali, and Russ almost connected on a good chance.
ThunderCats' entire back line in unison, repeating something we talked about last week, which is finding an offsides flag in their back pocket that the referee did not agree with, as Seth Russ had them all soundly beaten.
As Antcliffe not on the same page with Shirali, it's ushered out once again for a throw-in, this time for the visitors as we approach the final 2 minutes of the first half. Waiting on the fourth official's ruling on stoppage time. It'll be minuscule, if any. It's Golding. Late whistle here for kicking the ball a little bit farther down the pitch than he would have thought. Hit it with the 9-iron instead of the wedge.
I hate it when that happens, Cam.
Played back for Mark Wishmeyer.
Pretty clean game. Lansing taking a lot of throw-ins, fewer set-piece opportunities, which is not how the boys like to play, and has, as you would assume, resulted in fewer opportunities for the home side.
Voigt now back for Shirali. Looking to play it in the middle of the park. He'll find Antcliffe. Return for Munir Shirali. The near side, Shatia, or excuse me, Derby. The left foot, that one blocked by Janicki.
The moves of a man 6 inches smaller by Ben Derby, unbelievable, as he crossed up a defender who you would think would be quicker than him, but not in that exchange.
So it'll be 1 minute of guaranteed stoppage time here in the first half. Now for Voigt, played back for Ben Derby. Now for Jack Voigt as the Robins looking to strike before halftime. Shirali bounced off a defender. It'll be ThunderCats now going forward. Golding back, tired, can't get there in time. It'll be Ben Golding. 2-on-3 the other way, go ThunderCats. Stopped up now for Diego Arce along the far wing.
Kevin Payne directing traffic for Lansing Common.
Arce played through Alos, and Clark with the save. Back into the mix by Golding. Boussaguer unable to get there. Hungerford will steer it out. Shatia will not get there in time. It'll be a ThunderCats throw-in with just under 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
Kick save and a butte, I think they call that, Cam.
Great right-footed save there by the UIndy netminder. Now along the far side, Golding. Sent in, looking for Boussaguer. Still in, Golding, a shot well wide, or excuse me, Colin Arce, well wide of the net, as that should be the final kick of the first half.
Not the prettiest volley we've seen at Eastern Stadium this year. As the ref calls for halftime, I believe the first halftime of the year with the Robins deadlocked in a 0-0 tie.
Yes, that will do it. 45 minutes in the books. 45 minutes coming up next as ThunderCats SC and Lansing Common FC tied 0-0.
Festivities for a pint of common. For more information, find them online at ozonesbrewhouse.com. We are proud to announce Lansing Common FC's official coffee partner, Strange Matter Coffee. Strange Matter created a custom coffee blend for Lansing Common. Blend goes to Lansing Common FC. Sportswear is proud to be the official kit supplier of Lansing Common FC. Moneyball, unmatched blend of prices. If you want your team to stand out, reach out to them at Money. Saginaw Street, right here in Lansing. Lansing Common FC is proud to have Beyond Horizons Tours and Travel as its official transportation partner this season. We thank Beyond Horizons for getting us safely and comfortably to all our away games this past month. Services, a division outside your home. They are local, licensed, and insured, and guarantee their work for a full year.
Welcome back, everybody. Second 45 set to get underway here in Lansing as the Robins and ThunderCats SC deadlocked at 0-0 after the first 45. As Seth Russ standing over the ball, the referee checking his watch, making sure the time is correct. It is so, and we play on from the second half here on a warm evening in Lansing.
A little bit of palpable frustration from the Robins as midfield just not fluid enough. A turnover leading to a dangerous opportunity for Jack Voigt right out of the break, 15 seconds into the half.
And as you were alluding to, Josh, it seems as though a little bit of that frustration in the first half coming from the Robins, a lack of momentum and build-up play in the midfield. That's what head coach Brett Sorg was saying in the halftime locker room, if you want to keep alluding on your point there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was not in the locker room at halftime, but hearing Cam explain it, not surprising just from watching the guys in the field. Clearly a lot of frustration with a lack of fluidity in the build-up, just a little bit of sloppiness that we noted both teams experiencing that. Hard to say if it's the weather, the air quality, which is better in Lansing today than the rest of the week, but maybe a little fatigue from those two trainings in the last 3 days as well. Hard to say. Also, goes without saying, maybe it doesn't, that this is probably the best side that's visited Eastern Stadium this year by a good measure. The visitors' 7 points do not adequately capture the quality that's in the ThunderCats 11.
As ThunderCats wins a free kick, they'll play it immediately. Rosen. Now to the big man at the back, Greg Janicki. Janicki, the lone professional on this ThunderCats squad. Played out wide, looking for Boussaguir. Headed out by Payne, still in the mix. Colin Arce, blocked by Antcliffe, still inside the 18. And ushered out by Janicki. It'll be a corner kick just 3 minutes in for ThunderCats.
Kevin Payne directing traffic in the middle for Lansing Common as they line up to defend another set piece. The first two corners of the ThunderCats have each met the boot of Landon Hungerford there at the front of the 8-yard box.
This one played in by Arce, headed out once again by Kevin Payne.
Once again struck directly at Lando, just a little bit too tall for him.
Hungerford out now for Russ. Challenged there by Arce. Still Seth Russ waiting for numbers. Played back for Voigt. Squared in looking for Beck. A ball that just evaded his left boot. Back into possession of ThunderCats. Played forward by Costo. Looking for Golding. Now back into possession for Lansing. The referee wanting a handball with Steve Arce along the bench. The linesman did not raise his flag. That's what the center linesman was pointing for. And this time the whistle will go against Lansing. It's played quickly now by Colin Arce for ThunderCats.
3 minutes in, the ThunderCats bench has begged for about 6 fouls to be called on the Robins. 2 have been, but not successful with their other.
Rosen, back post. That one wouldn't go. Free header there for ThunderCats, the new substitute on the field in place of Diego Arce. We're still waiting for the official word on who that substitution is.
Don't have a name for 27, but I'd say he looks every bit of perhaps the new oldest player on the pitch.
Tried to dispossess Ben Derby instead. Played forward looking for Shatia along the far side, instead results in another throw-in for the visitors. As arguably one of the better chances for ThunderCats. First in the second half. Unable to direct it on goal as Holden Clark has come up with at least 2 huge saves in the first half. Pushing his total up to 19 as he looks to climb atop the all-time saves list.
Talking to former Lansing Common head coach Josh Oakley at halftime, he seemed to think that the Robins had both gotten the better of the chances in the first half, and also, which I agree with, really settled in down the last 10 minutes of the first half. You worry a little bit about overcorrecting, as there was a lot of negative energy among that Lansing Common midfield, both throughout the first half and coming out of the locker room in the second half. As Thundercats get things restarted with a free kick.
Rosen now for Golding. Pestered there by Antcliffe, ushered out once again for a throw-in. Golding trying to work around Jack Voigt. Played through, Wishmeyer doing just enough. Poked it free, now to
Derby
back.
once again with a clever toe, playing like a much smaller, quicker midfielder than you would think just looking at Ben Derby. He's been one of the better players on the pitch for either team tonight, on both sides, box to box, no question.
Now Ben Golding along the near wing, played in front, one-on-one with Payne. Dug around Payne off the shoulder of Antcliffe and in onto Clark, quick off his line. As once again, the forward for Thundercats looking to prove to be dangerous here as we start the second half. Now Beck.
Thundercats better be careful. We might give that fella a nickname if we don't get a name soon.
Beck played in, instead ushered out off the boot of Janicki, a throw-in for the Robins. Beck. Now Wishmeyer sent back in. Janicki there first. He'll usher it out. Only as far as Timmy Allos. Now back into Jack Beck. As Robins, who had lots of time to play in the negative in the first half, much to the dismay of the bench boss, Brent Sorg.
Saw a little bit of that in training this week too, Cam. Just too many square balls, little too much willingness to play the backwards pass, instead of what we know is winning football and what we know is Lansing Common football, which is looking to get vertical, looking to be on the attack and on the front foot, no matter where you are in the formation.
Now Golding. Busagir. Clark got a paw to it. It'll roll out for a corner as the UIndy native once again came up with the save. As Thundercats looking to be a little bit overzealous with their chances.
Everybody in the stadium knew Busagir was lining that up from 25 yards out. Take you guys behind the broadcast. Nobody's working harder inside Eastern Stadium than Cameron McLaren right now, trying to find a name for number 27 on the Thundercats, as for the first time today, the corner kick goes back post for Thundercats, and once again, unable to get anything on frame out of the set piece.
As it once again goes out for a goal kick, which was, if you had that on your bingo card, well, you've hit it at least 7 times this evening. Should arguably qualify as a free space. Antcliffe entangled with Golding. It'll be the Cornell native who wins out. Played forward to Allos. Numbers forward for Thundercats. Now to Colin Arce inside the 18. Back out. Antcliffe dispossessed. Arce deflected in on goal. An easy save for Clark. As Thundercats, within the span of 8 minutes played in this second half, have had 3 shots on young Holden Clark, who's making his 3rd start for the Robins this season. Played forward for Beck. A lovely bit of control from him to keep it down. He was missing from the lineup earlier in June, playing for $1 million at the soccer tournament. Just missed out in the semifinals, I believe, with the Conrad and Beasley squad. Beck. Now for Mark Wishmeyer. For Beck. Now to Hungerford along the far wing. Tried to play it in, instead deflected off of Allos for another throw. As Robin's still searching for that elasticity in the midfield. Russ against Janicki. Russ off the deflection, a corner kick conceded by Thundercats.
Seth Russ clearly very frustrated, and credit to him. for the way he's holding up against the 38-year-old former MLS center back. You understand the level of frustration out of the young man because of the way he's been playing and the goals that he's been putting up. But he's been showing great fight, showing great courage in there tonight. Nothing to be ashamed of at all.
Janicki, who had 36 caps for the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Lunir Shirali lines up the corner. Might be playing something new.
Shirali back, Wischmeyer at the 18. Wischmeyer curled just over the bar.
ThunderCats did not know what they were doing defending that set piece. Left several guys unmarked, and the first two pass left the dummies for Mark the Shark, and he was unable to get that on frame, unfortunately.
It's Mark Wischmeyer, the Bloomfield Hills High School graduate. Standing at a whopping 6'3", playing collegiately for Otterbein. So now here comes ThunderCats the other way. Numbers going forward. Payne interlocked with the number 26, who we still have no information on. Payne entangled with ThunderCats forward. It goes out for a throw-in. Played quickly to Colin Arce, just outside the 18. Arce well wide of the near post. As the Robins forgot to switch on there for a second. Another dangerous opportunity, this one well wide.
Coach Steve Arce not liking what he's seeing, questioning the decision making. I don't know that I'd go that far. The ThunderCats have nearly gotten a couple of those long shots by Holden Clark, but no question the instinct of this young squad from inside 30 yards is to shoot first, ask questions later.
Shots aplenty for the ThunderCats, as it's looking like an East Lansing night out for them. It'll be Golding who stands over this one, trying to work around Foyt. He'll play it forward. Now to the number 26, looking to bear down on Kevin Payne. Now to the byline, overshot the ball. Payne able to get there first. Danger still present for the Robins. Payne will usher it out off the right boot.
The young striker for the ThunderCats just lost the ball in the box.
As Russ and Golding entangled, to go off the big red forward. And out for a Lansing throw. As a curious number of onlookers, upwards of 300 people in attendance, including club president Eric Walcott, who was almost shoulder to shoulder with me just outside the booth, taking a gander at the action.
Best view anywhere in the stadium, up here in the booth cam.
Shatia trying to take on his defender, around Van de Winkel. Now to Wischmeyer. Robins still searching for that elusive pass. Ancliffe squared up, looking for Shatia. It'll be Lepaka who gets there first and immediately restarts play. As Robins' first chance of the second frame goes awry. Played forward along the far side. Golding in along the near wing. It'll be Alos played in, off to Busagir. Back to Golding, back post and missed by Busagir.
Swing and a miss.
What a chance for the ThunderCat forward.
Got his entire body in the net. Couldn't bring the ball with him.
Saw daylight, overswung it like a deer in headlights, instead missed all of it. As the visitors, their best chance, matching Amir Shataya's in the first half. Just whiskers away from getting the game's opening goal as Punia Marthi commits a foul. It'll go against the ThunderCats, and once again, the Robins with a free kick in their own half. Standing over is Hungerford as number 15 for the ThunderCats getting ready on the sidelines. It seems as though it'll be the second substitution for Steve Arce's side. Beck letting it through. Played forward by Ancliffe, looking for Russ. Instead finds the boot of Stephen Costo. And back to Janicki, looking to quarterback the attack, played up by Busagir. Payne there first, clatters his man, no foul upcoming as Payne had leverage and momentum in front. Russ battling with Costo. Played back to Lepaka as the third substitution at the touchline now for ThunderCats. Alos working around Wischmeyer. Finds Rosen. ThunderCats looking to bring it forward. Golding alone on the wing. And this one will
offside, the
call
call.
For offside, as we will officially get that substitution. It'll be a number 15 for ThunderCats, who again we have no information on. And
a reminder, folks, that this side has forfeited at least one of their Midwest Premier League matches for not getting in the appropriate paperwork. So perhaps not surprising, unable to supply the home announcing crew and PA crew with the names of all 17 of the players they brought to Lansing from Macomb County tonight.
Clark to restart play after the offside, as Keithan Punia-Marthy's night is done. 3 substitutions made for the visitors, none made for the Robins so far, as we approach just over an hour played here in Michigan's capital city.
And kind of a curious substitution pattern from Steve Arce.
Played back post, that one cleared. Ancliffe out to the front, and able to make the save was Clark. Sorry about that, Josh, as once again ThunderCats with a audacious opportunity, instead unable to get it through the wickets of Holden Clark.
A real nice second chance from about the penalty spot that they put right into Holden Clark's chest. But yeah, Cam, I just I don't know that I've seen a lot of 7th minute substitutions followed by a 45th minute substitution followed by a 60th minute substitution, especially for a side that seems to be on the front foot a good bit of tonight, and you know, really with the amount of points they've dropped, not a lot to play for over in the East Division for ThunderCats. But sub coming in for Lansing Common as Jack Voigt's night is going to be over. Coming in on the wing is Fedi Omar.
Fedi Omar now making his 2nd appearance for the Robins. Had 13 minutes played earlier this season. A foul given away by Busagir.
And did have a really nice week of training out there on the practice field. So perhaps not surprising to see Fedi getting some shine, as Jack Voigt was working hard all night out there on the wing.
Fedi sharing the namesake of a former Lansing Common player in Shetty Omar, the younger brother of Shetty, who still holds the single season and all-time goals record with 9 in that first season, including a hat trick and a 4-1 win over Inter Detroit halfway through the season. It's Payne looking for Shatia over the head of the recent substitution for ThunderCats. Shatia will reclaim possession along the far touchline. Works around his defender. Shatia still in, looking for Fedi. That one intercepted, cleared out only as far as Ancliffe. Heavy touch, able to get the deflection. Beck dealing with the pressure. Now to Wischmeyer, played out. Unable to get there was Ancliffe, as now Golding will recollect for ThunderCats. As the arms raised up by Brett Sorg, a foul committed by Wischmeyer. This one will be the first card of the night issued against the Lansing midfielder. And the first booking for either side here in the 64th minute.
Looked like that might have been on Kevin Payne. Not sure, though.
We will get the official ruling from the 4th official.
Hammond had it right the first time. Shown to Mark Wischmeyer, which is much less stressful for a Lansing Common side that relies so heavily on KP holding down the back line. Both players mixed up in that tackle.
Now call on Arce. It's Ben Golding. Pitch and catch with Arce played in, looking for Busagir. Still played in. Alos with the return feed into the arms of Clark, as Steve Arce enraged on the sideline for ThunderCats. Another shot saved by Clark, who's approaching what most likely will be a unbreakable 13 safe performance by Ethan Brandt last season against Michigan Stars, but we'll wait the official statistician. Dispossessed along the far side, playing through is the number 26, through, and able to get the hand on it was Clark.
Phenomenal save by Holdy there between the sticks.
Walked out for a goal, or excuse me, a corner kick as Golding let the ball through. Another dangerous opportunity as the back line of Lansing coming under fire here as we are under half an hour from full time.
Cam just mentioned reminiscent of Ethan Brandt's performance last year against Michigan Stars. Certainly a weightier and more meaningful match in the standings than this one, but Holden Clark.
Looking back post, collected by Golding, put back into the mix. Over Russ, no, and finally whistled for the foul as Colin Arce went through the back of Seth Russ. An easy call for the center official.
Would have preferred getting that call when that was our offensive box, but I'll take it.
Clark forced to retake the kick, settled it down, didn't move for a second. Otherwise charged for a rolling stop. It would have been penalized by a $100 fine. This long ball sent back in on Lepaka, his first touch of the ball in the second half. As the Robins have found it hard to break through that opposing third of Thundercats, who have dropped in that 4-2. It looks as though it's a 4-2-3-1 for them.
Mark Wishmeyer, all kinds of space in the middle of the pitch.
Wishmeyer back to Beck. Over once again to Wishmeyer. Along the far side for Hungerford. Now Shatia. Round Alos into the middle of the park for Beck. First strand of possession for the Robins in the opposing third this half. Still Shatia. Played for Hungerford. And Shirali. Kevin Payne.
Robins really starting to settle in, play a little bit more dynamic, a little bit
Now
more
Russ,
fluid.
around his defender. Tried to play it through to Omar, still loose outside the 18. Omar tripped up, wanting a foul. The referee says no call. Kicked out by Janicki for a Robins throw.
Janicki's 38 years of life and extensive tenure playing professional soccer seem to have earned him a little bit extra in the eyes of the ref.
Looking for Russ. Omar tangled up with Golding. No call there. Now Russ with it. Russ still going. Whistle called. It'll be a free kick in a dangerous position as Seth Russ was able to body his defender. Rosen couldn't get there. And instead, the Robins free kick just outside the 18 as a meaningful spell of possession results in a dangerous set piece.
It's not the third time that's the charm, but maybe the fifth or sixth just bodying of Seth Russ in this game tonight. Finally gets a call out of the head referee, and the boys are going to line up for, they've got 4 bodies around this ball as they get ready to go.
Russ, who was not pleased with his performance in the first half, knew he could do better. Showed it there in a little glimpse of frustration and rage as he was able to win the 50-50 over Rosen and draw the foul.
As the ref marches the Thundercats wall back about 5 or 7 yards from where it was. Now Mooney and Mark Wishmeyer standing over this ball.
It'll be Munir Shirali and the former Michigan State Spartan and Jack Beck. A wall of 5 for Thundercats, being ushered to move back a whopping half yard.
The lines didn't move, boys. That was you that moved.
And Shatia will stand behind the wall of 5.
Ref seemed to have forgotten his white spray paint tonight.
Beck to stand over. Beck well over the bar. Not going to challenge Lepaka as the dangerous free kick. And an opportunity for the Robins, their first of the half. Unable to capitalize as we approach the final 20 minutes. With the sun going down and the cloud cover thickening on what could be a beautiful sunset here in Lansing after what has been a horrendous week of Canadian smoke. A turnover now by Janicki. The back lines, that one hit Arce. Now Busagir battling with Wishmeyer. Be the former that wins the ball. Wishmeyer down in a heap along the 35-yard line. Playing forward is Costo, and on goal, and offside waved as the rather high line of Lansing Common able to draw the number 26 of ThunderCats offside, as Wishmeyer will get some attention here inside the ThunderCats half.
They said ThunderCats go, and they had 2 forwards about 5 yards offsides apiece. Quick and easy call for the referees. Unfortunately, Mark Wishmeyer appears to be in a bit of pain after that tackle that he just absorbed.
Wishmeyer, who has started all but 1 game in 3 seasons at Otterbein, has 4 goals and 6 assists in his 3 seasons there. Scored a brace against Adrian in a 3-1 victory this past season on September 24th, just the day after my 22nd birthday. Has started all 19 games in 2 seasons with LCFC, has just 1 goal to his name, and scored that free kick goal against Standard Detroit last season in the championship game. He walks off the pitch under his own power, a good sign for the Robins.
Wishmeyer with 459 minutes played across 6 appearances, 6 starts for Lansing Common this year, which is not every minute. He was unavailable for 1 game this year. And then that, of course, is without the 71 minutes played in tonight's match. As he has not checked out, but is at the PT table, getting some attention. Maybe a hot shot.
Doesn't look as though the miraculous cure for cramps and other insurmountable injuries has been used on the Otterbein native.
Cam, did you catch any of the TV hosts doing the Hot Shot Challenge this week?
I have not. I have been immune to TV. I've been on the road.
It seems that it doesn't have quite the same effect if you haven't been running around on a soccer field. We'll say that. Some of the CBS Sports Galazzo crew took one and said, it's kind of spicy, but if you're not cramping, maybe it doesn't have the same impact on the back of your throat.
As Antcliffe will give away the free kick.
For those who don't know, we're talking about Hot Shots, the hottest new thing in soccer. As last weekend, a couple women's soccer players took it. It's a spicy shot that's supposed to distract your brain from the fact that your legs are cramping. And apparently, it works. It just tastes not great.
I will stick to smelling salts in that department. As this one played through, looking for Rosen. Kevin Payne there to get his larger-than-life frame in front of Rosen. Played forward. Janicki once again there. He's been solid in defense for ThunderCats. Their rock at center back. As Shatia taken down along the far side by the recent substitute, number 15 for ThunderCats. An easy decision for the referee to award a yellow card to that man along the far touchline, as the card's even as we approach the final corner of an hour.
A couple ThunderCats seem to intercede, as number 15 looked like he wanted to chatter a little bit, maybe argue the call. No threat of a second yellow if the ref can't hear you, though.
It'll be Derby to take the free kick. Looking forward for Russ. Got the forearm shiver from Janicki. No call coming. Now Rosen. Kicked out by Payne. Collected by Beck along the near wing. Still Jack Beck. Now for Russ. Not on the same page. It'll be turned over to Costo. Now for Ben Golding in the middle of the park. As a runner along the far side neglects to use him. Instead plays back to Arce.
A little bit of that sloppiness from the first half returning for both teams as they exchange blows.
Rosen. Now to Alos. Alos hitting the byline. Played through and just off the deflection of Derby, who sacrificed the body out in front. Kicked out by Alos. Took a deflection off of Beck, and in turn results in a ThunderCats throw-in. As a Another dangerous opportunity for the visitors.
I didn't see Jack Beck touch anything with that tackle, but maybe a little bit of a makeup call as ThunderCats begging for a foul to be called there, and instead get the throw in.
Alex Rosen to take the throw in. Now to the aforementioned no-named 26. Alos, shadowed by Ancliffe. Trying to play it through, deflected off Ancliffe. Here comes Alos. He'll hit the byline.
Dribbles out of bounds, and it's just it's not as if the end line at Lansing Eastern Stadium is all that confusing. As Avery Dresky comes in for Mark Wishmeyer, who did seem to be a step slow after that injury, coming out in 76th.
So it'll be Avery Dresky, who makes his 12th appearance for the club, has just 1 assist. Occurred on the hat-trick goal for Seth Russ in the midweek fixture against BIH Grand Rapids, has just 1 start in his 2 seasons for the Robins, currently playing at St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure. It's Payne playing a game of head tennis in the middle of the park. Looking for Omar Janicki there first. Ushered out for a throw-in for Lansing Common. As we are under 15 minutes remaining in regular time. Dresky with his first touch of the ball since coming in relief of Wishmeyer. Played back to Clark. Avery. Dresky under pressure. Derby clipped there by Costo. As Derby still down on the ground. Went down rather awkwardly. A handshake between Costo and Derby.
A little bit extra on a lot of these tackles from the Macomb County side tonight.
It's Beck. Tried to play it through the middle of the park. Costo was there to intercept. Forward for the number 26. Worked through, looking for Arce. Arce! Colin Arce got it just past Holden Clark as Kevin Payne could not get there in time as the visitors take a late 1-0 lead. It's ThunderCats SC 1, Lansing Common 0.
ThunderCats goal scored in the 77th minute.
As an errant pass from Jack Beck intercepted by Steven Costo as the Robins could not get back in time. As the relative of the bench boss, Steve Arce, opens his account in this game as ThunderCats takes a firm stronghold, and after having a majority of the chances in the second half, they take a deserving 1-0 lead.
And it may have looked fluky, or if you played back the replay without context, it certainly looked like a 1 in a million chance. But ThunderCats had created a lot of danger tonight, and just the finishing wasn't there for them. So you had to kind of feel like that was going to come. You get the ball into dangerous positions, and usually good things happen.
As Lansing Common looking to level things late in the game, just 13 minutes of regular time. Landon Hungerford, too far in front of him, booted out of play by Vandewinkle for another common throw. As Robins in an unfamiliar position, being down 1-0 late in this one. The focus will be looking towards that equalizing goal. Dresky over Busagir. Ancliffe played far side for Shataya. Trying to work around Vandewinkle. Ancliffe took a spill on that and spot kick. Shataya barreled down, advantage momentarily played, stopped now just outside the 18, much to the dismay of Vandewinkle. Played quickly, and that'll spark some protests from both teams. As Golding pleading his case for the foul, it'll be whistled just outside of 23 yards. A substitution upcoming as Seth Russ will depart for Lansing Common, and Joshua Rosendale making his way onto the pitch. But dangerous opportunity now for Lansing Common here as we approach the 80th minute.
Coming out, number 3, Seth Russ.
And usually you'll see referees allow that quick play as long as the ball was stopped. This one not. Going for the Robins as Shirali and Shatia to stand over.
A lot of referees in the Midwest Premier League this year have seemed to have a little bit of a thing for control.
It'll be Shirali. The free kick. Shirali just wide.
Had the keeper beaten on that one. Great ball in from Mooney. Just couldn't find that near post.
As Shirali looking for his second free kick goal of the season. Had an absolute stunner early on. As Janicki forced to play it quickly, he took a late knock. Lepaka.
Mooney applying some pressure in his 81st minute play.
Played forward by the number 15. Payne forced to play it quickly, got booted in the process. Number 26, arms raised. He will go in the book as well. As Kevin Payne down in a heap and just outside his own 18.
Can't even really call it a tackle as he came in under KP as he knew that he would lose the challenge there for the ball. He just decided to go in low instead.
Payne in a slight bit of discomfort, may have landed awkwardly on his leg. He has more substitutions warming up on the bench for Lansing Common with just under 9 to go. Is Payne a notable starter for Niagara?
26 still complaining about that call as Kevin Payne still not looking right.
Now to Shirali in the middle of the park. Back to Ben Derby, who is slotted now in to a defending role.
Again, folks, we have done everything we can to bring the names of all of these ThunderCats Soccer Club players to you. The visitors from Macomb County just seem unable to supply us with any names. So apologies for the numbers, not up to the standard of professionalism we'd like to uphold here at Lansing Common, but out of our control tonight.
As Busagir saw that one out, the immediate chance for Shatia, who's still looking at the center referee after not getting a call. The assistants for Lansing Common also wondering on that challenge from behind by Costa. As we play on in the 83rd minute, the lone goal scorer in Colin Arce, the difference maker so far. Now to Jack Beck. A lack of movement, he's forced to play it back to Kevin Payne. Now to the freshly inserted Rosendale. Antcliffe. Dresky searching for options. He's played it along the far side. It's now Golding. Excuse me, the goal scorer Colin Arce. A great challenge there by Shirali. Able to win possession back for Lansing. Played for Hungerford along the far wing. So once again, Lansing forced to stop up at the midfield. Payne. Long ball for Shatia, headed up by Rosen, or Van de Winkle, excuse me. Back out to Derby along the halfway line. Once again, looking for Omar. His first touch evades him. The high boot sent out for a throw-in. Another substitution upcoming for Lansing Common.
Daniel Silva coming in for Jack Beck.
As Jack Beck, who has had his money's worth dealing with the midfield of ThunderCats, as Silva, the fresher legs of the two, will come in for the remaining 7 minutes of regular time. Silva making his 16th appearance for the club. His 5th appearance this season. Still searching for a goal in his 3rd year with the club. Dresky once again saw out for a throw-in. With just over 5 minutes left in regular time. As the visitors of ThunderCats SC looking to be one of the first teams in a long, long time to take all 3 points from Eastern Stadium. Dresky. Left for Shirali. Able to skip past his defender. Played along the near wing. Antcliffe won't get there in front of Golding. Now Golding working around Payne. Shoved away by Payne. That will earn a free kick for Ben Golding. Payne lucky to not go into the referee's booking sheet. And another set piece opportunity for ThunderCats.
Kevin Payne still looking to be struggling a little bit after that hard fall on a hard foul from ThunderCats.
Arce back post, unable to get there first was Janicki. Results in another goal kick for Lansing Common. As Payne still in a heap of discomfort outside the 6-yard box, that'll usher in at least 2 more substitutions for the Robins. So it looks as though Jack Lockerbie will be making his way into the match. Busagir. Now for Alos. Picked off. Shatia. Played forward now for Hungerford. Able to keep it in along the far wing. Hungerford still with it. Numbers looking for them is Hungerford. He's forced to play it back. Silva. Played into the box. That one kicked out by Janicki. Back out for Derby. Set up for Shataya. Now to Hungerford, back to Shataya. 1-on-2. Unable to get past the second defender. Kicked out once again to Derby, just in front of the halfway line.
ThunderCats backline still looking real crisp. 86.5 minutes into this match.
Looking for Antcliffe was Payne, now brought down by Shirali. Looking for numbers, no movement coming for the Robins. Payne, still sitting with it. Now Antcliffe, looking for a spark. Great tackle there by Arce. Now to Goulding, and a feed looking for the number 26. He's
way offside, but no call.
As the linesman found him on, it'll be played along the far side. Clark in a one-on-one with Alos. Ushered back into his net. Timmy Alos now off for Goulding. Still alive just outside the 18. That one wouldn't go, as it's deflected out for a corner kick.
I didn't see the deflection there, Cam. Don't know about you.
As we'll get the double substitution, it will be Antcliffe making way
Coming in
for Lockerbie.
number 11, Anthony Burton.
And Kevin Payne staying in the game.
And number 15, Jack Lockerbie. Replace Aiden Antcliffe and Amir Shataya.
As Shataya will make way for Burton.
Both Jack Lockerbie and Landon Hungerford able to hold down that center back position as they both played a major role in Lansing's league-leading defense last year. But there's nobody like Kevin Payne.
This will be Arce to stand over the ensuing corner. Sent in. Payne able to deal with it first. It'll find its way to Fetty Omar. Now played to Hungerford. Able to get it around Alos. Only as far as Busagir. Now back in possession of ThunderCats. Timmy Alos searching in front. Landon Hungerford doing just enough. See 26 in the box going down for ThunderCats. Played quickly by Clark. Now to the newly inserted Lockerbie. Played forward. Rosendale looking for Omar. It'll escape through the 18 to LaPaca.
Phenomenal one touch from Rosie there. Would have been a well-earned assist. And Lockerbie, in addition to being a capable center back, is an offensive threat as well, as you saw him standing over the ball there. Free kick specialist at Alma College.
LaPaca's ball collected first by the number 26. Burton unable to deal with the second. Goulding. Now to Busagir, taken down by Silva.
The crafty elderly gentleman down there on the pitch manufactured a foul out of not a lot there, so we don't still have a name for number 27.
As we have hit the 90th minute, and we wait further instructions on the remaining added time.
I would hope, Cam, it'd be more than one, but it seems like there's been plenty of stop-and-go traffic this second half, but you never know with these officials.
It'll be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time. Omar straddled there by Janicki. Shirali taken down by Costo.
They did give the foul. My
The fourth
goodness.
official has indicated at least 4 minutes of added time.
As we have now reached the end of regular time, just 4 minutes, a minimum added on here.
Your clock on the stream, folks, is perfectly synced with the clock on the scoreboard here at Eastern Stadium. So no discrepancy there. What you see is what you get.
Payne looking for Rosendale, ushered on target if the net was 10 feet wider. So Lopaka will let it roll out along the back half of the track. The visitors will look to play it slowly but surely, like molasses.
Ball kids, unfortunately, a little bit complicit in the time wasting here at Eastern Stadium.
Well, sometimes you just gotta let it ride. Sometimes it's just not their day. You know, maybe they had a bad week at school. It's a Friday night. Oh wait, school's done. I stand corrected. Lopaka played well out, collected along the near side by Jules. A good 30-yard reception for the former captain. Played in for Omar.
Throw from Jack Lockerbie. Goodness.
Janicki will see it out. It'll be a corner for Common as Janicki looking to stretch out some cramps. He's doing the stanky leg behind the net.
Hard to say if that's a crafty veteran move or what. As Mooney Shirali lines up the corner kick. Once again, talked about this a little earlier in the match, but the boys installed some new set pieces in training this week. And we'll see what kind of sauce they got cooking here.
Shirali now, right-footed outswinger.
Ooh,
And we'll get a
comes in.
foul or a call here. This one against
Card on the
Lopaka.
keeper. Card on the keeper as Josh Rosendale is on his back. That is a hard man to bring down. And Brent Sorg is correctly pointing to the rule book and saying that's a penalty.
Unless the referee is saying that it happened before the kick. As we will replay. Lopaka with the yellow card. Shirali once again, the second chance from the corner. Played in, looking first, still in the mix, cleared out by Costo. Only as far as Lockerbie. Played up for Clark, well in front of his net. Under 2 minutes left to play. Played forward, looking for Payne, ushered out by Alos along the far side.
I've seen everything now, Cam. We had last week a yellow card on the visitors' center back about 3 minutes in, and then countless fouls on the same player leading to nothing. And then this week a foul in the box leading to no penalty kick.
Rosendale up into the mix. Brought down, Lockerbie skied it.
Jack's going to be seeing that one in his dreams, unfortunately.
As the next chance for the Robins to tie the game at 1 going awry. With just over 1 minute left to play, Lopaka will do as much time wasting as he can on the yellow card after the foul inside the box that resulted in not earning a spot kick. Burton, the back heel flick. Omar committing the foul. That one to the dismay of the home bench.
Should probably do it, as ThunderCats will seek to cramp, kick the ball around, do what they can to burn up these remaining 45 seconds.
As the goal scorer and Colin Arce went down off of the foul inflicted upon him by Fede Omar. Janicki will take his time playing. With just under 20 seconds remaining, as this could be very well be one of the final few kicks of the game. No foul, says the referee, as Golding went down in a heap out in front.
A little retaliatory shove from Golding. Oh, and then an extra boot from Golding, earning him a yellow.
Golding will go into the book as we have hit the allotted 4 minutes of stoppage time. The bench boss, Steve Arce, looking at his watch. As Golding, the latest ThunderCat to go into the book, maybe time for one last opportunity for the Robins. Lockerbie with a booming kick into the opposing half. It'll be Alos first there to collect. Out for a throw-in.
Referee referee saying play on.
Time for one last effort. The long throw, Rosendale. Back into the mix, looking for Payne, headed out. As that will do it. Full time from Lansing as Colin Arce, with an 81st minute strike, befuddles the hands of Holden Clark as the visitors from Chesterfield take all 3 points in this one over Lansing Common. As that will do it from us, we will step aside, and before we'd like to go, we would like to thank our camera operator, Renee Aldana, who stepped in support tonight, our production manager in Scott Oberlander. From Josh Pugh, I'm Cameron McLaren saying good night, everybody. We will see you next week as Lansing Common continues with another match, 6 p.m. next
Saturday,
weekend.
Tulip City, I believe, we've got next weekend.
Against the visitors from Holland. Once again, your final from the capital city. As the visitors, ThunderCats, take all 3 of this one. It's ThunderCats SC 1, Lansing Common 0.